What are signs your partner hates you? 34F35M. I feel like my boyfriend actually dislikes me. I need some outside perspective on whether these behaviors from my boyfriend actually indicate that he dislikes me, or is it his ADHD and trauma. He never asks how my day is when I have a day off or work. I have brought it up and he says he expects that I'll tell him if there's anything to say. He doesn't hug or kiss me unless it's to say goodnight. He doesn't make plans to do stuff with me except things that he enjoys, like going on walks in nature. He doesn't like sleeping in the same bed. He gets very angry if I try to talk about how I feel or if I'm upset and want to discuss something. He says he's sick of serious conversations. He only half the time bothers to respond to my texts. He says that he'll do all these things to help me out but rarely follows through. Either I'm assuming he forgets or can't be bothered. He has never said that he loves me. He can't say that I look nice or compliment me over anything. I'm starting to think he actually hates me. We live together and have been together for a few years. I'm starting to get intrusive ideas that he's only with me because he can't afford to rent by himself. If it feels like he hates you, that's your answer. ADHD and trauma aren't excuses for being cold, dismissive, or emotionally unavailable for years. You're not asking for too much. He's giving you the bare minimum, and even that's shaky. You're not crazy. You're just finally seeing it clearly. Don't waste more time where you feel unloved. I don't think he hates you. I think he simply does not give a single wet shit about you at all. He would not care if you disappeared tomorrow. He would be more upset if his couch was gone than if you were. My husband has ADHD. He is the most giving, caring, affectionate, thoughtful, selfless, affirming, validating, sweet and loving person I've ever met. You can do better, and I hope you do. This sounds like literal hell. What are you even benefiting from this relationship? I hate to say it, but having to make a post like this at all is definitely one. I lived with a man for 18 years who was only concerned with himself. Never would do anything that wasn't his idea. I was a paycheck and meal ticket to him. Don't be like me and waste your years with someone like that. I don't know why you moved in with him or why you continue to date him. He obviously doesn't fit your needs. My husband, 31M, just lost his mother. I, 31F, am 9 months pregnant. How can I support him? My husband's mother recently fell ill and went fast. She passed today. He's been gone all day, understandably, and I've just been waiting for him to come home. He was close with his mother, and we weren't expecting this. We all had a chance to say goodbye, but left just his siblings and dad to say goodbye as she passed. I'm due any day now and can barely get out of bed. I had hoped and prayed that she would get better so she could meet our little girl. We both cried the other night at the prospect of our daughter never knowing her grandmother. I can't do much, and I'm trying not to get lost in my emotions as I know they can affect our baby. I want to be there for my husband. I feel guilty I'm at a stage where I have to rely on him for help. I also worry that this baby will come and interrupt his grieving and the funeral planning. I also worry how this may cast a dark shadow over the birth. How can I support my husband through this while also being physically limited? He needs me now more than ever, and I worry the baby will make it harder for him. I just want to focus on him. It feels so selfish to give birth right now. Too long did not read. I'm due any day. Mother-in-law passed and my husband is gutted. I want to support him in his grieving, but I'm also limited in my capabilities, and I fear having this baby may send him over the edge. How can I help him during such a gut-wrenching and hectic time? I lost my father back in October, and when I figure out what someone could do to help, I'll let you know. All you can do is be supportive and understanding. This is the time you need to reach out to your village friends. All those people who say, if you need anything, call me. You need Emil Train, you need his friends, and you personally need your support people. They're never a good time to say goodbye. You are there and listen to him, hold him, remind him it's okay to grieve. You are there. Your daughter will be what helps him get through it. When I lost my grandfather at the beginning of mine and my husband's relationship, just him being there for me and letting me talk was enough. Sometimes I'd cry, sometimes I'd laugh, sometimes I was just silent and drank. He never tried to make me forget about the pain. He sat in it with me even if there were no words to say. That was something that actually made me fall more in love with him, was just how easily he sat, listened, and didn't try to do anything. He gave me his full undivided attention and complete presence. Do you have family who can help out during this time? There's no easy way through this. He's not going to be himself. I'm so sorry you're both navigating this at such a delicate time. He will likely be in a bit of a fog for the next little while. It took me a few months after my mom passed away, also sudden, also unexpected, to feel any semblance of normal. The best things you can do for him are to be endlessly patient, to remember that this is as temporary as it is hard, the postpartum period, his acute grief, to seek out as much help for both of you as you possibly can. Can you pay someone to come help you in the first few days, weeks home with baby? and to honor her memory by talking about her and giving him space to talk about her, especially with baby. 40F Is my husband 37M responsible for the way that I perceive his comments? Too long did not read, married 10 years. Together 18 years. Had first kid a year ago. I say husband is responsible for apologizing for how his words are blaming and judging me. Husband says he is not responsible for how I perceived something if he didn't intend it that way. Who is right? Having a kid had been hard on us. We're in pretty intense marriage counseling and individual counseling right now. The other night my husband asks to put our kid down to sleep for the first time he has helped in 10 months. I say yes and leave the room to our bedroom. Baby was having a tough night, sick, teething, and he has a hard time getting her to sleep. He gets frustrated and leaves baby's bedroom, and the baby is wailing. Baby starts hyperventilating. I get up and ask him, can you please not let the baby hyperventilate like that and go comfort her? He refuses. I end up going back into the room to calm baby down. I end up putting baby to sleep and he says, this is exactly the problem right here, as in me going in to comfort the baby when baby is crying is a problem. In marriage counseling today I brought up this incident as an example of how he blames me for stuff that is not my fault, as in he is blaming me for her not being the best sleeper. We get into a semantic argument. Basically he says he didn't mean to blame me, that wasn't the intent of his comment. I say your words were unequivocally blaming me and you are responsible for how your words are perceived. He says, well, two people can have two different perceptions of the same thing. I say, no, there are cases where it is pretty objective that someone is blaming or being judgmental and you can't just say, oh, I didn't mean it that way, you are responsible for how your words make others feel. He disagrees with that and was trying to pin me to a wall that there is no right in an argument. I'm so frustrated with my husband. I have been feeling a lot like my husband is very judgmental of me and also blames me for the problems in the relationship. He's been clinically depressed this year, resentful, and ultimately I have been blamed by him for many of his problems even if they have nothing to do with me. Honestly, I think you two need a therapist who will shut down the semantic arguments and get back to the real issue, which is that you're not on the same page when it comes to childcare and you in particular don't feel supported. But if things are bad enough that literally everything is triggering an argument, including individual words and tone, I don't know if there's any way back from that unless you both agree to let this particular dispute go and focus on trying to be a team again. Did this conversation take place in counseling? Because if so, you need a new marriage counselor. What you do next time is ask, how should I interpret that? And he either rephrases in a way that isn't blaming you or acknowledges that he is blaming you. It's weird your therapist doesn't make each of you use I statements. He's incorrect. He directly blamed you for the baby's sleep issue. This was not a case of his intent being misunderstood. He is being evasive and your therapist is kind of shit for not calling him on it. He is technically right that two people can have different perceptions of the same thing, and sometimes people read too much into a comment that was not meant that way. But that doesn't mean that people should be careless with their words because the person on the other side is not a mind reader. However, I see no way to interpret his comment as not blaming you in this situation. Mike, 23 female, partner, 30 male, doesn't clean. Not sure what to say to him. Title says it all. He won't clean the apartment that we both share. Together for 4 years but cohabiting for 2. I begged and cried and waited for change that was promised but it does not come. I can go into more detail if needed but that's not what I'm here for. I've accepted that he isn't going to change and that I need to leave but right now I don't have the money to do so. At present I am trying to save up and also collect strategies that will keep me sane for at least the next year. Any advice on that is welcome but I'm specifically here to ask what to say in this situation. He's going to ask me if I'm happy. He's also going to ask for sex even though I told him that I wasn't interested until I saw a change. He weirdly hasn't mentioned it since so I'm wondering if he knows how little he contributes or just hasn't tried again yet. Regardless, I keep thinking about these things happening in the near future and panicking because I can't think of what to say. So my question is, what do I say when this inevitably comes up again? I don't know if I need to play along until I can leave or tell him that I can't keep living with him like this, that I am seriously considering moving in with my parents. I'm not sure. I hate that I got myself into this situation. I miss my mom. Stop cleaning anything you don't have to use. Get a second and third job to spend more time away from the apartment and to save up enough money to move out. Welcome to why a 26-year-old chose to date a 19-year-old in the first place. It's taken 4 years to wisen up and in that time I'm sure he's gotten to act like the mess that he is. When he asks you why you don't want sex, just give the same answer that he says to you when you ask him to clean. If he doesn't say anything, then you don't say anything either and just get up and walk away. Oh, and stop cleaning his things, stop washing his clothes, stop doing his dishes. You need to start working a lot more to make your own money and keep it in a separate bank account. X. Total disintegration of the relationship. You've expressed a need. He's repeatedly made false promises. You don't trust in him at all anymore, and rightfully so. Yes, move in with your parents immediately. Nothing is salvageable here. Reclaim your peace. Spending another day in this environment is simply not okay for your mental health. Contact your mom and arrange moving in with her. Sit him down and say you're leaving, discuss lease, rent, splitting of furniture, etc., and then leave. If you have to pay the rent up until the end of the lease, then so be it. It's a temporary issue that is better than staying with someone you don't want to be with. I doubt he'll fight you because he sounds too lazy to bother. Does anyone remember that Reddit story about the woman who found a note from the ex? Basically, this woman had moved in with the boyfriend. She was in the same boat as you. She cleaned up after him and found a note from an ex that said, "I do everything for him. He's not going to change." The fact that he hasn't found this note is proof that he doesn't clean. Get out, or something along those lines. You should bail. And, you should do the same thing and save the next woman some years of suffering.